I see a lot of dental assistants, and granted, not everywhere, but I see a lot of dental assistants, a lot of dentists who simply aren't talking to each other, who don't understand what each other needs during that day, and they're not on the same page. And I think that's where you and I, whenever we're out there talking together and trying to help them come together, it's one of the things I love the most, man.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Gloves Off. I'm David Rice. I'm your chief editor at Dentistry IQ with my buddy.
Kevin Henry, hey, I'm out there teaching dental assistants and helping them grow in their careers.
So, Kev, it turns out this whole dental assistant dentist relationship isn't all roses, rainbows, and unicorns. What do you see out there?
I see a lot of dental assistants, and granted, not everywhere, but I see a lot of dental assistants, a lot of dentists who simply aren't talking to each other, who don't understand what each other needs during that day, and they're not on the same page. And I think that's where you and I, whenever we're out there talking together and trying to help them come together, it's one of the things I love the most, man.
I like that. All right. So, speaking of communication, you and I run a lot of rooms together, and we get a lot of feedback from people. Can I throw out a scenario and get your thoughts on it?
Let's do it, man. Absolutely.
I love it. So I've been an assistant for 31 years, and I was told in school, don't ever tell the dentist what to do. But if I see a cavity or an overhang or something going on, like how do I best let the doctor know, or do I just stay silent?
I don't think you can stay silent. First of all, kudos to you, the dental assistant, for being in there 31 years. We need you now more than ever. So
Yeah.
yeah, so keep at that. But I think we've got to understand that this assistant has so many years of experience, and he or she absolutely can see things in a different light. They've got a different angle there at the chair than the dentist does. So I think you in the dental practice, you have to be able to empower your dental assistants to say, by the way, not in front of the patient, pull you aside and say, by the way, I think, we may have something over here, or, do that nonverbal, kind of point, whatever it might be. But again, have the courage to say that as the assistant, and have the wherewithal as the dentist to maybe listen and check out to what he or she might be saying.
I have gotten a few swift kicks under the chair over the last 30 years. I guess I'll say that. Can I toss out a concept?
Please.
I think if I'm an assistant today, we're all motivated by something. So assistant, your dentist are motivated by something. And I'm sure you know me better than I know myself. But if you found a time when it was just us hanging out and you asked for permission and said, hey, David, there are things that I see on my side of the chair. Um, how do I best let you know what I see? Because I know you're all you have is your angle, but
Yeah.
the two of us together, we can see everything. So how do I best do that? And I
Well,
think
first of
that's
all,
an easy way to make the conversation happen.
I love that asking for permission, because I think then it puts you both on the same page, and maybe some of those walls come down and people aren't as defensive, maybe. But you're at least asking for, let's have this conversation and let's make sure that we're even keel here.
Yeah, and I don't know, do you see like trends and practices where dentists and assistants maybe even like talk over the patient's shoulder? Is that another permission we can ask our patient that makes it even easy so we don't feel like we've missed something or we're doing something wrong?
I think it's always good for that patient to not be surprised about anything. And so I think to have that open, honest, this is what to expect during the appointment. And it could be some conversations that we have to make sure you have the best care possible today. I think framing something like that, and again, having that assistant be that bridge between the practice and the patient whenever it comes to that communication side of things, I think that's very important. Absolutely.
Okay, one last question. This is a tough one.
Oh boy.
So I know. So you're a dental assistant and you're trying to do the best thing and you're asking me, hard-headed dentist, for permission and I don't respond very well. Any thoughts?
I think at that point that you try to figure out, why are you not responding? Do you think that the dental assistant maybe is overstepping his or her boundaries? And I think again, you've got to have that conversation, because if as a dental assistant, if I tell you, look, I've got this patient's best interest in mind, I'm not trying to undermine you, I'm not trying to overstep, but I'm really trying to make sure this patient has the best experience and has the best oral health possible. I think that's really all that you can do as an assistant, is make sure that you understand where the dentist is coming, or where you're coming from, and why.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I feel like sometimes we're so worried about having the best words
Yeah.
instead of just bringing the best intentions that we just don't have these conversations. And if we had them, it would go much better than, dental assistant you're thinking and dentist you're thinking, and same for everyone else on the team.
Yeah, we know that whole saying about assumptions and assuming, right? So, I think that it's really something we have to make sure, hey, here's why I'm saying this, and this is why it's important to me and the patient as well.
I love that. That's sage advice, Kev. How does everyone find you on a routine basis? Because I know you're answering questions like this all day, every day.
Hey, reach out to me at Kevin at kevinspeaksdental.com. Happy to help in any way that I can.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out, Kev.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.